Hello, vinyl community. I didn't clap. Oh, it's a new day. All right, another video where my recent purchases, right? Let's get on with it. Okay. How you guys doing? Doing good? I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm always excited. I got, ordering records and buying stuff. But, man, that fire, huh? That's gonna cause a lot of issues for us. Like, really, I don't think anyone knows what those issues even look like yet. But, I think prices are gonna go up and production is obviously gonna go down, right? I hope someone tries to fill those shoes real quick. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't either. But the U.S. place, there's only two of these places really that supply all the lacquers to the entire industry, and one of them burnt to the freaking ground, like, pow. So, and the only other one is in Japan, and they were already having trouble keeping up with the demand before this other one burned to the ground. So, I don't know, guys. That's a bummer, Like, because there's plenty of real world shit to get bummed out about, but I try not to think about all that shit. And this is one of the ways that I do that, is with music. And anyway, I mean, music's not going anywhere, right? Okay, let's get going. So, I don't normally show GIFs in these lists. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. But my friend gave me this record. It's of Montreal. White is Relic, and Aerialis Mood. This guy is his art is very dense. Kevin Barnes, he's the man behind of Montreal. Awesome cover. I'm getting like a futuristic dystopian feel, kind of like a Mad Max meets Las Vegas. The album, it's very pop, very electronic, but also the lyrics it's like Pandora's box. That you have to have, his lyrics are dense. You really have to think about him. He has big words that you're not going to know the meanings of. And then White is Relic. I don't want to get into the topics of this album, but it's a deep topic. Anyway, so very cool album. This guy, Kevin Barnes, writes everything, produces, plays everything for the most part in the studio, and he has musicians that are the band that go, on the tour with him. For every one of his albums, he does all the artwork, and some of them are very dense. I wish I could remember which album it was, but it came with like a 30-page book of nonstop artwork. Really dark stuff, really cool stuff. So, of Montreal, he recently released an album in 2020 called You're Fun. It's very different. It's super pop, but it's almost stripped down, very compared to his older stuff. Stuff is very layered. And what it deals with is he had found a relationship and it was all good, but I guess Your Fun is about the work that goes into a relationship to make it work. Because these happy ones don't just happen. You gotta make them happen. All right, so that's that. Next up, I've shown this probably 20 times in contest videos. I don't know how it always works like that, but the Controller Sphere. This is of Montreal again. As I said, he does all the artwork, so, God, I need to start taking pictures to know exactly where to hold my stuff, but I don't. So, yeah. I think hair's getting messy, huh? I decided to stop shaving my head. We're gonna see what happens. I haven't had long hair longer than like an inch in 20 years. And when it did get long, like an inch long. It was not by choice. All right. Okay, next up, we have one of my favorites, and unfortunately, this press sounds like shit. Yeah, it hurt. It hurt when I put it on the record player and I heard the atrocity. Rage Against the Machine, Battle of Los Angeles. I mean, you either know Rage or you don't, or know about Rage or you don't. It's, you know, music for the oppressed, music of the revolution. It is Rage Against the Machine. Amazing, amazing, amazing record. The B-side is the best because it has Born as Ghosts, Voice of the Voiceless, and Ashes in the Fall, but Calm Like a Bomb and Born of a Broken Man on A are really good. Those are like some of my favorite Rage songs, but I have so many favorite Rage songs. Yeah, I mean, it's a We Are vinyl pressing. I've talked about Rage so much, I don't want to just reiterate, you know, but they were a really important band for me my whole life. As a kid and a teenager, they really helped me realize some things I needed to realize and figure out where I stood in this world. This album was released, so this was their last album before they broke up. And after their breakup, their final album was released. It was an album of covers, which I've shown before. Yeah, great album. Y'all should have it, but hopefully not that press. It just sounds muddy, and the lyrics sound really buried, like overly buried. I don't know if there's such thing as overly buried, but all right, next up. Now this We Are vinyl pressing sounds a lot better than the last one. Working on that Prince collection, baby. Gotta get it done. It's gonna take forever. Yeah, Chaos and Disorder. This came out in 96. Yep, I was right, 96. I couldn't tell you what songs were singles off this, because I didn't listen to Prince back in the day, especially not at this time, not in 96. But an amazing record. I love it. I think this, after this, like Emancipation, that came out? No, Emancipation was later. Either, was it? Alright, regardless, I think after this is when I think his music starts to get a little more questionable, like some is either like it or not, which I think everything before this was like just epic home runs, but I love everything he did. Alright, boom, next up, that's right. This is Gorillaz, Demon Days. This is a concept album that is talking about Armageddon and the end of the world and the problems we face. And the lead man felt, because this is stuff he worries about, it's constantly weighing on his mind, and I get that. I have anxieties, and he thought if he wrote about him and sang about him, it'd help. And the album's amazing. It draws such an amazing picture. As Dennis Hopper on one track narrating. How many albums can say that? There's so much here. This is just loaded. This is a loaded frickin' box or, you know, record. So, there, we got that. Came on red colored vinyl. This is a Vinyl Me Please release, and they had re-released it. It had been sold out for a long time. I think it's still available, but I can't promise anything. If you were looking for this repress, this is a beautiful, beautiful copy of this album. I mean, Jesus. Very, very awesome. And then I didn't even know this, but November Has Come has like MF Doom, one of my favorite rappers, on it. And this thing is awesome. And I had never really gotten to Gorillaz. I had heard their singles. You know, I liked them, they're fun, but fun wasn't me. You know, I was not pop, I was not fun, I was not anything. I was a jaded metalhead, angry at everyone and everything, and I couldn't get into shit like this, and I missed out, or maybe I didn't, because now that I'm older, I'm really appreciating it. I'm hearing everything with a new ear, but my friend introduced me to it, and I knew my daughter had been listening to Gorillaz, and I didn't like the releases this month for Vinyl Me Please, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get this Gorillaz, and I'm so happy I did. Okay. Now, this next record, I've been following this girl's career for about a year. I just thought it was interesting. I didn't really like her music, but again, I wasn't into pop until recently. But going back and listening to her first two records, they are not for me. They are super pop, you know, hyper pop, bubblegum pop, a lot of that going on. Now, while I did like a lot of the themes and lyrical issues, also her YouTube persona was very interesting, and the narrative they were creating I thought was awesome. Now, there's a lot of controversy around this because the narrative was the idea of her artistic partner who discovered her and glommed onto her. That's his deal. He finds young talent, gloms onto them, kind of brainwashes them. It's a manipulative, abusive relationship. And so he did this with one girl, discovered another artist, kind of dumped the other girl, and brought all those same ideas to this new artist. And now that the new artist has dumped him, she has said in interviews that he's already grooming some of her old friends. He's just a shitbag. And he's like 20 years older than these girls. If you just see him, you know he's a shitbag. But then if you do your homework, total shitbag. So I think a lot of that gives this girl, there's some people who won't give her a chance or haven't. And it's still not very well known, probably to most of my audience, because you guys don't listen to this stuff. But okay. So, about a few months ago, there was an EP released, and on it, this girl started messing with industrial themes and metal themes, and I loved it. So when this record was announced, I pre-ordered it on the hope that I hadn't heard all there was to hear. On the hope, like I bought it afraid that every album was just going to be metal pop, right? Because that's what she started doing. I couldn't have been more wrong. This is poppy. This album, okay, like my daughter would describe it as pop and metal, which she doesn't call it metal. The artist doesn't. So for all you metal purists out there who've already got your panties in a bunch, calm down. The artist herself doesn't call it metal. And are you saying no one's allowed to use metal themes? Is that the the hill you want to die on? I didn't think so. And at first glance you'd be like, oh, this is pop and metal, like the first track, but there's actually about 5 different genres going on. Across this whole album, there's like 50 different genres, 100 different themes. The musical vocabulary on this thing is so good. when your daughters, if you have daughters, when they start getting into music and listening and getting into the world around them, you hope they'll make good choices and listen to and watch good stuff. We try to let our kids make decisions. I'm not going to control who they are till the moment they're on their own, and then who knows, we're actually trying to prepare them for, what's really out there. And in that, they have some freedom. So this is the music, this is the record you want your daughter listening to. It is so female forward. It is so powerful. The track list, she's talking about disagreeing with the constructs, disagreeing with the patriarchy, disagreeing with the institutions, right? Blood Money has to do with religious sellouts and the monopolizing of spirituality. Anything Like Me has to do with personal growth. Like Sit Stay has to do with the patriarchy's view and control of women and breaking that mold. Like, phenomenal lyrical content. It's kind of simple. It's played down. You got to think it's not targeted at 38-year-old men, which I'm sure plenty of us buy it, but it's targeted towards a younger generation. This shit goes hard. I love this record. So if anything I've said has garnered your curiosity, I urge you to listen to it, and don't listen to it for 30 seconds. Don't listen to it for 10 seconds or 60. It's like a 25-minute album. Just listen to it. You just try to listen to it with an open mind. I guarantee you've never heard anything like this. You have never heard anything like this. Good. Okay. I just really wanted to get that out because this album is frickin' amazing. And there we are. This was the Zia Records exclusive, which pretty sure, they're absolutely sold out. The website exclusives were sold out by the time I tried to get one, except bundles, and I don't like bundles. I'm a big dude, and even 3X t-shirts, if they're not made with the right material, the second I wash them, they don't fit anymore. And it's just because I'm tall, super tall. The inside's not much, just lyrics. But man, how freaking cool. You gotta do it. You gotta. Alright. That's it for today. I know I showed 6, and the reason I did that is I realized those last 3 ones that I did in the opening last week, I probably won't put them in another one of these videos. I feel like I'd just be repeating myself, and I do that enough. So, we're good. Take care, VC.